Hey everyone, I'm back at it again. I have acquired a new microphone, so no one can make fun of me for my audio quality anymore past the first episode. That was the starter stuff, right? I know I had a couple of issues with the quality, but hopefully things are going to be better. It's only going to get even better as time goes on. But today I'm going to lay it out right in front what we're talking about. And it's the idea of your tools serving you versus you serving your tools. This one's going to be a little different. The last time I felt like I had more of a solution, but we're going to be cruising through a lot of stuff here. So let's get started. The first thing I wanted to do was follow up a bit on my first episode. I thought about some of my arguments, and I often like to do this where you think about the things you've done wrong and then reflect on them. And I think I made that episode sound like I was really not fond of the idea of storytelling. And talking and being in a story in YouTube can be lame. It doesn't mean that it is, though. I want to make that like abundantly clear. It's just that there are two sides of the YouTube extreme. I think I was talking a lot about woodworking videos, but I think in general, you have the video that you watch, and there's someone talking and explaining things, and there's a story and a person, and I like that. It's human. You get to know like what people are up to. I just like it. It's nice, right? And then you get someone who just uploads them like cutting pieces of wood, and that's it. that's everything that you're gonna get, and I guess that's okay to a degree, depending on like the hobby and whatnot. I definitely think that can work, but people are gonna have their tastes. But I just wanted to say I didn't mean to dump on the idea of like someone telling a story as being really whack. That's far from what I wanted to imply, right? So, because again, that tends to be my preference. But I'm not a fan of that pure silence either. But YouTube has become a product, right? It's not about just throwing yourself out there. It's about, well, how do we make this as marketable as possible? And that's some of the deception signals we talked about in the first episode, right? So, that being said, I'm not the biggest fan of it. Just the whole desire to make everything like a product. It can make things feel a little soulless, but when we discussed that a bit in the last episode, how those deceptive signals can fall through. But that said, let's talk about tools. So I want to grace you all with the story in my life that happened. I kid you not. It's a few days ago. I think maybe a little more at this point. So I think it's been about 5 or 6 days since I uploaded, if I recall, when I'm recording this. And I was in the car. I had a lot of errands to do. And for just a little background on me, I've been trying to discover, since the last episode, a little bit of fashion. I've never been a fashionable dude. I've been described as dadcore. I have a functional pair of shorts, occasionally pants if I'm feeling fancy, and the shirt is whatever shirt I have, and I have a belt, and it's a decent belt, and then I'm off to the races, and that's my style. It's a style. It's utilitarian to the max, but I've been trying to get myself to look a little better. Partially because of all the things we talked about with labels, communication, and deception, right? When people look at you, they're going to get an impression of the type of person you are. That's just how it is. It's a weird aspect I've been learning about, but I should talk about that more later on. But as of right now, I have a t-shirt, and my fit is fine, but I think I wanted it to be a little better. And It was like 4:30. I haven't eaten all day. I woke up in the morning. So I had some errands to do. I got out of the house. The place to get burritos was right there. I got them. Some of that new Taco Bell stuff. It was pretty good. I am opening up my burrito as I'm driving off, and I realize I'm trying to keep this shirt clean. So if I take a bite out of the burrito, what's going to happen? In the car, it's probably going to fall on me. I keep the wrapper going on me. I try to like have it pulled up a little over the bite. But of course, inevitably, I have a couple of bites and a piece of sour cream gets on my shirt. Now I'm waiting for a red light to take it out. And I set down the burrito, sad and hungry. And I just wait. There's nothing else to do but wait. And so at some point or another, I finally get a red light. You never get red lights unless you don't want them, of course, right? So I had something to fiddle around with. And okay, finally, I get the little napkin. I take it out. I hear you're supposed to like put a little saliva on it. So I get it out, and then I get home, and I have to scrub it with the little stain remover. And I thought to myself, damn, it was like 30 more minutes before I got home. And I realized something. I just wasn't able to eat. I had 30 more minutes of being hungry. 30 minutes. And I then had to go and do this extra work to keep my shirt clean. So I'll give you a little bit of backstory. I have gone from what I'd call the low money, high time lifestyle, that gameplay, and now I've gone into the higher money and lower time gameplay, right? This is not honestly that great, if I'm being honest. I mean, I think conceptually, if you ask me, would you rather have more money or less? Most people say more money, but this is where we're going to get into talking about tools. This shirt is the first of many, many examples today about how tools can do this uncanny job of not serving you and making you serve them. This is one. This is just a shirt. Those signals are important. What if I come across a business opportunity and they see me with sour cream and like a little brown cheese stain on my shirt? They're like, this guy, is he even a business dude? He must not take himself seriously. You know, he's looking kind of whack. And that's just how I've looked my whole life. I have a little thing on there. It's fine. I try to be clean, but if I'm not, I'm not. Whatever. It's just a little stain, right? That's just how the game is going to end up being played. It's fine. Truly. It doesn't bother me, but I know that having a better appearance is going to lead to more opportunity. Plus, what if I meet a nice lady out in the wilderness and she looks at my fit and it's like, this guy's whack. Get him out of here. Or at the very least, if I have on a decent fit and I'm showing the good signals, she'll say, oh, well, he's better than the guy who didn't do that. And he has some other good qualities going on. Oh, boy. Oh, brother. So that's been the lifestyle. I'm an absolute master. And I truly mean this. I am an unbelievable master of that low money lifestyle. My next example, I'm going to talk about a bike. I had a bike before I had a car. Now, I get that the sort of social stigma is that bike is whack. How could you do this? I understand, okay? I get it. But I have become a master of being the weak player, as in the low money, high time player, okay? Get this. If you pull out a bike, it does so many things. No gas, no insurance. There's maintenance, but a lot less maintenance than what you get on a car. Like an unbelievably lower amount. I was pretty much brake pads. That's it. Brake pads. You want to mod your bike to look cool? Easier paint job? You want to get like a seat? There's a million things, but this isn't about that, okay? This is about trying to understand how much this bike is actually doing for me. When I have the free time of not needing to pay for a car or have the gas or insurance for a car, I can cruise to Costco, pick up a $10 pizza, eat pizza for 2 days off of $10 while getting, realistically, I think the ride to Costco, depending how quick I go, is 30 to 50 minutes. If I'm just booking it, 30 minutes. If I'm going at a slower pace, 40 to 50. And then the same ride back, okay? So we'll count that at an hour and 20 minutes of commute. Average it out. But if you want to get there faster, you can. If you want to take your time, you can do that too. So you're cruising to Costco and you're getting that exercise, at least an hour and 20 minutes of decent cardio. You're getting out, you're experiencing the fresh air. Like everyone likes going for a walk, right? It's the same thing on a bike. You're seeing new parts of your town that maybe you don't see. The Costco's a little further away. It's a fun place. You don't usually get to go. You can get there a couple different ways. There's some novelty to it. Man, it's great. The amount of things done by that. And then on top of it, like no money. Because in the no money lifestyle, it's great. You get this pizza, you then take it home. You can also just eat your piece of pizza on the Costco bag or on the out of the box right there while you're getting the pizza ready. What do you got? You ain't got no job. You got all the time in the world, right? You're sitting there. If you want, you can even pick up like something else from Costco, something cheap. Anywhere that's affordable that you want to get like a cheap drink, or maybe you just have a sugar-free drink or something that you bring with you. That's good right there. So you get all of this done, right? But you head home and you feel like you've accomplished something, right? Between the exercise is something primal, dude. And we're going to get into this. This is but one advantage of tools that tend to do multiple things for us, okay? We got up and coming. We're going to talk shoes. We're going to talk chicken parmesan. We're going to talk phones. And we're going to talk about woodwork shops that are worth 50 grand, okay? So we got a lot of things that are going to lead into this huge failure point, I feel, personally in my life. Maybe other people would think of it differently. But for me, this just becomes an issue because we have what the great scholar once said, more money, more problems, right? Now, this is just the bike. And I get it. The car gets you to Costco, depending on your traffic, 10 minutes or less here. Again, bad traffic, it's worse off. Probably closer to 15 to 20 minutes, which isn't that whack. The thing that you spend all this time and money and go to work for is now like, sorry, there's too many cars on the road. Screw you, I guess, man. Oh, that's excellent. I love that. I love it. You get defeated, dude. I get cooked. I get cooked by getting more successful in a car by sitting in traffic. I spend 20 minutes. I save 20 minutes, but I have to spend it in traffic. I pay for the privilege. We're at least on the bike. It's like, there's traffic. I'll tell you this, where I live, despite it being an unbikeable city, it's not that big a deal, right? You could pretty much get anywhere on a bike. No concern at all. But, all right. So, it's all expensive. And, I want to state, the bike has its anxieties. Things getting stolen, it getting stolen, stuff like that. So, there is an issue, but I was in and out of places pretty quick. And the bike ride itself was in and of itself its own reward. And because no job, I can kind of go places late if I want to. I can go there in the middle of the day or whenever I think there won't be too many people out and about. So there are ways around some of the security, but I digress. I want to talk shoes because this is one that occurs to me now. I don't have that bike anymore, right? I got it for a good amount of money and I sold it for half the value once I stopped using it. So even in its retirement, it has given me something. I suppose a car is much the same, depending how much, value it retains. But when it comes to shoes, I got a nice pair of shoes that were really padded, but they're expensive. They're the best. I can't explain how otherworldly these shoes are, with just how soft and great they are having a good pair. But after about 5 months of wearing them, my feet started to hurt again. So that's ass. and I have to get a new pair of shoes. These shoes cost $175. Now I know there are other shoes out there that cost less, but these are the ultimate padded ones. So even if I were to lower the price, which I could, I love the support of them, all right? Now my feet don't hurt. And the way it works is if I'm going to be standing on my feet for like 4 to 6 hours, it's good to have padding. Now, after the first pair of shoes wore out, I tried to replace the cushioning with like the fluffy pads, which is kind of what they're emulating, the cloudy mush, the foam. But it's better, but it's still not good. I tried doubling the foam. It's just weird. It's not good. And now with my shoes, I okay, so I have the goofiest situation where I got a new pair of shoes, the same ones for the same money, because I just miss my feet not hurting. But I heard if you get two pairs, you walk in one for a day, and then you switch to the other pair, and now you have you have more than double the amount of shoe time, because in that time one shoe is working, the other shoe gets to rest for like a full day, which can give it time to come back and get back some of its fluffiness. So you're not just getting 5 months of shoes. Apparently you're getting more. I don't know how much more, but we're going to see. Okay. Now, okay. So get this. I have now decided I'm only going to wear these shoes if I'm going to be out and wanting to look good, or if I need to protect my feet from a lot of work, 4 or 6 hours plus of standing, because that's when my feet are going to hurt. So when I go out, if I'm going into the car, I just tell myself, I'm just going to be driving around for 40 minutes to an hour. Maybe I'll get out for like 1 second and no one will see it. I'll use the crappy original shoes I had. By the way, my crappy original shoes, I think I've alluded to this to y'all, right? I told y'all I'm a woodworker. They have paint on them and they have stain on them. So they're like goofy colors. They got some orange on them. They got some like wood browns on them. They look ridiculous. But all that is to say, I now, in order to protect my shoes, I now so the shoe is to protect your feet, okay? But the shoe that's meant to protect your feet, in order to protect it, I have to take it off my feet so it no longer protects me. Do you realize how retarded that sounds? I can't even believe this, because the old me from the old world would have got the little cushion in there after getting them and say, oh, these were a good pair of shoes. It probably would have been a gift from like friends or family, or maybe a crazy discount or something I got used. And then I'd put the foam insert in and I'd say, wow, these are so much better than my others. Nice. My feet still hurt after a while though. That sucks, but oh well. I enjoyed it while it lasted. And now I have to take care of these shoes. Like, I now must take care of this shoe. For what reason? Why? The shoe is here. Humans have used shoes for who knows how long. I bet the caveman like wrapped little leaves with the like, I don't know, like string or grass or something around their feet to say, yeah, man, let's just keep our feet a little warmer, or let's keep our feet, from hitting rocks and stuff. Could you even imagine? Like, no, man, I gotta keep these, I gotta keep these shoes safe. I better take them off. It's the stupidest thing. And because these are nice new shoes, I like the way they look. I like the way they feel. Now I think, oh, I better not bend my feet. I'm going to put a crease in my shoes. I'm becoming that guy. I made fun of those people for so long in my life. Like, the shoe is meant to be worn, dude. It's fine. And now I'm thinking, well, that shoe costs money and it looks nice. I've heard the general meta is keep one nice pair of shoes for going to nice things when you want to look good. Keep the other pair of shoes for everything else, right? So that's the shoe game. I'm now serving my shoes, right? Like I said before, tools, man. Are you serving your tools, or are your tools serving you? All right? I kind of missed the days where I just had the same pair of shoes for like 4 years until it got a hole. And even then I didn't care. But other people would say, your shoes have had a hole in them for like a year, dude. And I say, I know, but they're still protecting my feet. Like if it rains, it kind of sucks, but whatever. Don't even get me started. When I learned more DIY stuff, I got silicone on those shoes. I didn't care. I'm like, yeah, dude, my shoes are fine now. Look at this. This caulking will last inside a bathtub. It's gonna, it's gonna keep the water out real good. Ingenuity. But anyway, here I am now. No longer doing that. Now I'm like, oh, after five months, I don't have my nice fluffy shoe. But of course I'm going. Anyway, I'm cooked. That's all I'm saying. I've been defeated by a pair of shoes by needing to take care of this. So, okay. Now, there's some other things too, because we like to assume everything is super convenient. All right. We get to the point of, I have a car, I'm winning. And sure, for people who only want the car for one thing and don't do everything else, it's fine. But now, when I was saying that other example, if you boot up your car and go somewhere in 10 minutes, get what you need and come back, like say 10 minutes to get there, 10 minutes at Costco, 10 minutes to get home, 30 minutes. You could say, dude, it takes you 40 minutes to ride to Costco, and then let's say 10 minutes to get your business done, and then 40 minutes back. Bro, you save like an hour. That's true. But the cost of that car, and also, I talked about the cost of the car, but there's another thing. Now, you still need to get exercise. So with the car and the time you saved, you're like, well, I'm going to go to the gym in my car to exercise. Or maybe you're like me and you just, exercise in your backyard like a normal person, right? I'm kidding. Shout outs to people going to the gym, but I can get my cardio in my backyard pretty convincingly, and I'm fine with that. But it just, to me, feels really weird how I get this time only to then specialize in another task when I could have just used bike and I could have gotten both done at the same time in a way. It makes me feel like I should just like sell my car if I didn't need it for other tasks like my woodworking or whatever it might be, right? So there's that. The opportunity, like plenty of these lower end items end up doing good things. Chicken Parmesan. So if you want to get like chicken Parmesan, you're just going to buy it from somewhere. You're probably looking at like 20 to 25 bucks. Maybe you could find some local place that'll get it to you for less, but that's about the prices I have near me. I'm a pretty poor state, by the way. So when I learned to make chicken parm as the weak player, low money, high time, I loved it. Man, I had something to do. When you're poor and have a lot of time and you think, I can get some cheap chicken parm, I can learn to cook, man, it's great stuff. You have a lot of fun. You go out, everyone's out at like their job or whatever, and you're feeling kind of down, and you go and do something like chicken parm. If you got like neighbors or people you live with, oh man, look at this chicken parm. But this is good because you're practicing. Because all you got to do is make good chicken parm. It's great stuff. It's amazing stuff. But the problem is, it takes about an hour or two of your time. And guess what? You want to get the ingredients? It's chicken parm? Oh man, it's not even that expensive. It's not like you're eating crazy rich by making your own chicken parm, right? Like, unless you're just eating like burger meat and hamburger helper, like you can get a lot of chicken cutlets out of this with some spaghetti, have a little variety. Anyway, you get that chicken parm. It's wonderful. How many times have I said chicken parm? Compared to buying it now, if I work a 10-hour day, I've mathed it out. 30 minutes to get ready, and then 7 hours remaining in the day if I work a 10-hour day. And that's giving me about 6 hours of sleep. And that 7 hours is to do everything. So if I spend an hour or two of that to get chicken parm, even if I'm saving money, oh man, I still spent 5 hours. Like now I only have 5 hours of time throughout the weekdays. Or I could just take some of that time from work and spend that on getting a chicken parm if I really want it. Look, I know it's not perfect, but it's kind of just like, what did I really get for this process? I guess if I had a job that was throwing me $50 an hour, then, this math, it ends up working out. And it just makes more sense if you have the money to say, just spend the 20, $25 a day, maybe less, depending on how cheaply you do it. And just spend it on getting food if you have the money. It's better. It's easier just to save time, not do dishes. So we have, again, not exactly just a straight up win or loss. Which one is better? Sure, we'd all say we want the lazy ass get the chicken parm, but for all the cost, all the work, the car, all of it, I don't know. Is it really worth just buying it? Heaven forbid you do something like get it delivered to you. Now that chicken parm's going to be like 35 to $40. So, of course, you got to go pick it up. And then you think, well, how much does it cost to get it picked up? It's just not always a direct win, right? Like, these tools, they are assisting you and people like them and need them, but there are some alternatives. Frankly, even if you just go to the store and get your groceries on that bike once a week, you're saving money. And now you have stuff to cook at home. And now you can cook. And now your family appreciates it. I don't know, maybe even find some nice girl who's like, hey, this dude knows how to cook. Nice. Like, yeah, I just taught myself to cook because it saves money and I wanted to eat better food. Next up is the phone. My old phone, I threw it in my pocket and I didn't think about it ever again. Truly, it was done. It was a budget phone. It wasn't the lowest of low, but it was close. It was usually this year's kind of model of a budget phone. 200, 300, well, probably closer to $300. I got the S25 Ultra phone. A great phone. I like tech. I wanted a camera. I do certain work, and it's good to have a good camera. So I could have that side camera or get another one, or I could just get a good phone. I also do a lot of things on the computer and tech, so having the better performance and CPU and all that. So I got the S25 Ultra. Pretty solid, if I'm being honest. But it's not without its costs. I never once thought to myself, okay, just to let you know, that phone's over $1,000. Now maybe that's nothing to you, but damn. Going from that poor life to getting more consistent employment, and now I'm thinking, dude, if this phone messes up, sure, I could replace it, but that's $1,000. And I need this phone for like doing work and making recordings and stuff. So now I think about this. I thought about my pocket layout for the first time in my life after I got this phone. So here's the standard John pocket, all right? We got knife, keys, wallet, phone. All the tools you're going to need. Got to open a box. Got some crazy dog chasing you down. Some homeless guy trying to rob you. All right, you got your knife. Great. You got your keys if you're in your car and whatnot, or just the keys to get into your house or the keys to like your bike locks. Boom. Easy. Or if you have work keys, things like all that. And then you have the phone and the wallet. I actually wanted to use a hard wallet, but I stopped because those little tiny like portable wallets, they kind of suck. Instead, I use a soft wallet. Also because if I have my knife and my keys and my wallet in one pocket, it gets too busy. So what I like to do is have my phone somewhere that's safe. But knife and keys, you don't want to scratch up your phone. You don't want to scratch up your screen. You don't want to scratch up your finish if you got that. You don't want to scratch up your camera lens. Dude, no way. That's like storing your car keys outside your paint job on your car. Like, no way, dude. So yeah, now I think about this phone. And I put her in the wallet pocket that's soft. Because the soft wallet's there. I didn't like the hard wallet. I actually would like other hard wallets, but instead we're just soft wallet. So now this phone I got, I have to protect it. I now have to play a little bit of Tetris. Okay, I'm going to admit, it's not exactly a big deal, okay? It's not huge, but there's still a burden. a burden with getting something that just straight up feels better. Unrelated, but the phone is also bigger than my other one, so it's heavier and takes more space. And when I drop that phone, my heart stops for a second. I'm like, oh my God, oh, it's okay. I could pick it up, it's fine. I got a case for it now because I can't just have a raw case. I like the raw phone feel, but you can't do it, right? Not with that kind of money. Are you crazy? You need at least some protection, especially if you're dealing with like oils, finishing, stain, paint, and you get like some of that stuff on your phone. Oh man, that wouldn't be good. What if you need to resell that phone for the next one? If it has a stain. All right. Also, I learned about phone batteries. Did you know if your battery stays at 100%, it's bad? We humans and batteries, we're not so different, really. The battery doesn't want to starve at 0 and suffer, and it doesn't want to be completely full at 100, just like you. Do you want to eat as much food as possible? No. Not until you're about to burst. No way, it hurts. Same with being at 0. You don't want to be starving. We have no food in you at all. That hurts too. So the phone, you should set your phone to only charge at max 80%. And when you plug it in, have a fan on it so it stays cool. Anyway, it's your little tech tip. But yeah, and now my phone, dude, it's now being served by me. The old phone, pocket. Need pictures? I didn't think about the quality. Who cares about quality? But you learn a little bit about picture quality. Oh, you're trying to paint something nice. You're trying to do woodworking projects. You want to show some people some good work you did. Well, if they're looking at that on their email or their computer, you're going to want that picture to be a little better. It may be the difference between whether someone buys something from you or not. Someone sees good, like, that's what all the marketing says. Get good pictures. And sure, you can take decent pictures with a whack phone. Maybe I keep a camera on the side, but I'm not going to use that. Only whenever I need to take it out. And what a pain in the ass that is. Just keep a good phone on you. And let the anxiety, let the burden of that go. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here is that I was thinking about business, solely business, okay? Let's pretend for a second I have a 50 grand workshop, okay? Woodworking, all set up, space is ready to go. Well, do you think that this is just good? Because you might have some great tools in there. And of course, those tools are going to buy you a lot of flexibility and save time, without a doubt. It seems almost like it's a universal thing that's good, right? I'm going to tell you a horror story. So imagine you spend something nice. You spend something like over $1,000 on a tool in your workshop. And you're thinking, wow, man, this is going to be perfect, dude. I'm going to be able to, a thickness planer, okay? It cuts the wood down nice and even. It's great. And it stops working. You have it for 6 months, it just stops working. Or maybe in the wood it's cutting, you notice that it's uneven. There's like a spot that's high. What's going on? Oh? What do you mean? Are you not aware of how much machinery costs and how much it costs to maintain? Anyone who has a car knows this. Especially old cars. I hear that old classical cars, they could be sick and fun, but apparently people just don't drive them in the winter because they say, oh, well, there's salt out there. I don't want to rust my car. Oh, and the mileage isn't good because it's an old crappy car, but it's my dream car. It makes me happy. But, wear and tear, so I only drive it on the weekends because it costs money to maintain. And it's like, oh, I see. The tool. Here we go again, dude. You are being controlled by the tool. But that machine, I don't know about machines. I know about woodworking. I'm not a machine guy. You want to talk about the ultimate in efficiency, but the ultimate in cost and anxiety? Damn. Hey, if you're going to mess with my machine, you'd better effing be careful. Don't just, before you put anything in there, look for like staples in the wood. I do not want a piece of metal hitting my blade, because then I'm going to have to learn how to take out the blade and replace it. Don't you dare. What? Look it up, boy. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to learn to maintain your stuff. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I actually just put pieces of wood together, and I've never owned an expensive piece of machinery in my life. I've never owned a higher end saw in my life. I'm sorry. I was unaware. I did not realize again that I'm just getting cooked, absolutely cooked by my own success, right? Like I was thinking of when I said that earlier, and it's just, who would have thought? Because when you're poor, you're like, if I just had some more money, imagine the things you can do. And this might sound like a first world problem, but I think this is what people mean when they talk about a house. I have been in the unfortunate situation of living with people where the roof just stopped working. And I mean it. It rained. Water is now in the house. You know, mold? That stuff is serious. And it's, oh, well, we just accept that there's a hole in the roof. I mean, a hole, but like water just getting in. There's just wetness from the roof getting in. Oh, well, someone will fix it by putting a bunch of junk on it. Okay, well, that works for, a year, maybe. All right, well, now back to leaking. Oh, great. Just had to get a new roof, get everything like fixed on it. Thankfully, now I'm more handy. I could probably save a decent amount of cash doing it myself, but I wasn't back then, so it was just a burden that the family had to have so that we could have the roof working. That sucks so bad. That's at the point where nowadays I know that you could fix things yourself for a decent amount less, like an absolute boatload less. But the point is, having that house was a burden. Having that machine was a burden. Having the car is a burden. Having the $1,000 plus phone with the sickest camera, one of them at least on the market, a burden. Going to buy the chicken parm conveniently, a burden. It takes like 10 minutes to get to the place. And I live in, I wouldn't say a small town, but most people, you say, 10 minutes to go get your food, and then 10 minutes to come back. That's not bad. Like 5 minutes waiting, maybe. Not bad at all. The shoes, the t-shirt, man, the whole process, it's crazy. Even if you said, hey, John, 50 grand workshop. Okay, well, I'll get a sick thickness planer. It'll be like a 20 grand thickness planer. I'm going to have a 10 grand saw. I'm going to have like 5 grand of dust collection. I'm going to have like a 5 grand jointer. Bro, I am set. And I'm going to run all the electric and the air filtration and like AC, climate control, all of it, man. But you get to save all this time. But when you look at what you're missing in the process, you have to buy it back in a lot of ways. All these other things that lost. Like, in a way, too, it starts to feel soulless to transfer from that life where you did things to yourself and make things go as far as you can into just, well, all right, this is sick. I now have saved time and more money, but I actually have to do a lot of little things. All of this is rough. And I when I started out this episode and I was brainstorming ideas and thinking, I realized that there wasn't just like some overt, oh yeah, well here's the dub. Here it is. When I think, I genuinely think, and I knock on wood. I don't know if you can hear that. Oh, it looks like you can on the mic there. Knock on wood, right? I hope I don't lose my job. But in some ways, I think, if I lost it and I just went to doing the minor things, selling little things, finding little jobs, having the free time, I would take me time to adjust. But that kind of old style of life, going back to cooking things, maybe riding the bike again, sell the car, get a bike, right? No, I probably shouldn't do that, but it's cool. It's cool when you have like a car and you can help people in your life. I have some people I do that with now, and that feels good. Having that responsibility and people relying on you, it is cool, but I don't have just some like grand thing where I'm like, oh, well, here's what I figured out while going through this. In fact, because I was the low money, high time player, and now when you go from poor to having any reasonable job, you feel like you're the richest person. And I know I'm not, but the hidden cost of better things is here. Are your tools serving you? We don't know, right? How much maintenance and anxiety and just overall behavioral restriction should you accept in exchange for something better? We got an attention, maintenance, storage, repair, learning, anxiety, opportunity, right? As well as the many experiences that are removed by its overall convenience. It it doesn't seem great. Even that large woodworking shop, bro, you need space for all that. I don't know about you all, but even people I talk to who are handy or even have their own shops, a lot of these guys on YouTube who are decent at like making money at what they do, they're like, oh, I'm in a garage. Like, oh, yeah, like a 1-car garage. Like, man, that's kind of rough. I mean, I'd know, right? I'd know, but I didn't even get into some of the woes. If you're doing all of your work indoors, like sawdust just kills you if you didn't know. You can't breathe in it. People think, oh, it's wood, it's natural. No, sawdust, especially from a sander, but cutting anything, it just kills you. That dust just gets in your lungs forever. You got to calibrate things. You got to replace blades, machinery breaks. What about you have 50 grand worth of stuff? Bro, that's more than a car. Like, I know people probably can't move that stuff around easily, but what if someone did find out that you had a sick shop? Again, do you have the electric to support it? Every possession is just going to have overhead. Efficiency just removes those hidden benefits, right? Because you have to buy back exercise, stimulation, contact with the world. Whereas some of these things just came to us naturally as people, historically and all that, right? Like the cooking being the nourishment and skill building, the bicycling being the transportation and the exercise, inexpensive shoes and equipment. Just use it, dude. Who cares? You push it as far as you can go. Now it's like food, that cooking, those things aren't even in the same wheelhouse. I'm like, I just pick things up now, right? Sometimes I cook things, but that burrito, like, okay, here's what I've discerned. The best thing I can think of that isn't just return to monkey and give up having nice things. You don't need to abandon your nice shirt, your phone, your saws, your tools, your cars. But I think we have to be careful about when when we're getting in a spot where a possession is dictating your life. You have to ask, is it still doing the job you brought it to do? And is the cost you're paying for that okay? Is it returning more freedom than it consumes? Because just having a sick table saw worth like $5,000 that you don't even have the electricity to run and you don't even make that many cuts on your table saw, do you really need that? In my case, a jointer and a thickness planer and a whack-ass table saw is what I need to do most of my stuff. Shout outs to any woodworkers out there, right? And even then, I'd like a better table saw. God, I'd like a better table saw. But the goal isn't to own nothing. You want to get more freedom back than they demand. I put that in my notes. I don't have a lot of notes, but I put that there because that's what you have to watch out for. Good tools extend our lives. They don't become another life, another thing that you are being forced to maintain, right? I think maybe next time when I'm out there, when I'm starving with the burrito in my hand, I'm just going to say, screw it. I'm just going to eat this burrito. If I get stuff on my shirt, so be it. But that's how we are. This one, This one is a concept that I have just generally been struggling with in my own personal life. So, I think keeping things simple and more lean, you hear this in business, is valuable. If you don't have a big business, you can change yourself a lot. You don't have as much overhead. When you become known for you make this product and have these tools with this quality, that's now a reputation. That's now an expectation. When you become the guy who has a car and maybe you take on responsibility of helping like move people around or picking stuff up from the hardware store, like not everyone has a car, dude. I know our world makes it seem like, oh, you have to have this, you have to have that, but a lot of people don't have these things and they get by. So if people are relying on you, it becomes hard to just say, oh, sorry, I got rid of the car, like, see you later. But that idea of having the simplest object that can reliably support the life you actually live, the real things that you're doing, not just the most impressive thing you can technically afford, because it's tempting. Maybe you like taking pictures. Maybe you like your phone and you say, dude, what if I just got the sickest phone? Admittedly, the sick phone has been worth it. I don't have any regrets towards that. I also don't have a 50 grand workshop. But if I did, I'd have to use it. Even some of the tools I have now, and I don't even have like sick ass tools. People would say, some of the stuff I have is pretty good. Some of the stuff I have is laughable, frankly. But, it's okay. Remember that. Own things that return more freedom than they demand. Extend your life. Don't become another life. And the simplest object that reliably supports the life you actually live. Those are my points I'm going to leave you with. Now, this marks the second episode on the ocean of information here. It's been interesting. I didn't even know if I would make a second one, but I'm sitting strong at 18 views. Who knows? Maybe some more information will come out. I just realized I checked the video. It came out 2 days ago. It feels like 5 days. You know, when you do a lot of new things in life, things feel like they take longer. Actually, I probably recorded that 3 days ago, not 2 days ago. I uploaded it 2 days ago. But all right, I'm rambling. I'm going crazy. Hopefully y'all appreciate the greater mic quality. I thought I did the audio editing to make the last one a bit better, but, well, here we are, right? On the next topic, I'm not sure. I have a couple of different ideas. I definitely have more of the wisdom, and like I said in the first episode, I'm a big fan of people throwing out their kind of distilled wisdom in a candid format, so I keep the script pretty light. Occasionally I get a few things I'm like, oh, that's the killer line, you know? But I hope you've all enjoyed this, going through the ocean of information with me. I never formally introduced myself, but my name is John, and that's just how I go. Maybe I'll have the nickname of Ocean. Whenever you go online, people often just use whatever you typed in, right? People will say, hey, it's Ocean. I love Ocean, or whatever. You know, on a final note, I swear this time. You ever like have YouTubers where people like say the guy's name and you don't know the guy's name? Like it technically like came up in an episode here or there. And I guess if you watch enough, you see it. But it'll be like apparently Mr. Beast and his name is Jimmy. So people in the show will be like, oh, hey, what's up, Jimmy? Or say things like that. Whereas other people are like, oh my God, it's Mr. Beast. But other people call him Jimmy. And I'm like, oh, I mean, that's his name. Nothing wrong with that. But I just kind of know him as Mr. Beast because of his channel. But who knows? Who knows? Hopefully, keep this going. We'll see what the third episode is looking like. It'll probably take me a day or two to get this all edited and throw up the footage. But damn. You've all learned this. I'm horrible at goodbyes. So I'm going to head out of here, okay? make sure you sailing for good places on this ocean of information. Don't let it. Don't let the slop cloud you out. Don't do any doom scrolling. Infinite algorithm or infinite scrolling, and that's bad for you. Stay out of that. But I hope you all have a great day, night, wherever you're rocking. And I'm horrible at goodbyes.